I grew up in Washington, D.C. My mother lived there at that time. My sister still lives there. I've got nieces and nephews. And I decided that I wanted to go down for it. It was a combination of the two things, visit my family and go down for the big March on Washington. So there I went. I drove down with my son and to my mom's house, and I was staying with my mom while we were there. I called my closest friend from high school, Dolores, and said, let's march tomorrow. So she came up to my house, my mother's house, and we went down together, and we joined the people as they were marching from the Washington Monument to the Lincoln Memorial, and just got in and marched with them, no big deal. I know that there was probably a lot of security, but we didn't look threatening to anyone. At any rate, we went, and we were standing during that whole time because there was no place to sit. It was amazing. Everybody felt good. They were singing. They were positive. And we got there and just speech after speech, all in very positive. And the thing I remember the most about it was toward when we knew it was about to end and Martin Luther King was going to start speaking. And we decided that we wanted to get ahead of the crowd so that we could get on not a subway, but a bus or a streetcar in those days. And as we were walking along, we observed as Martin Luther King is speaking, observed the masses of people. And it was as quiet as everything. And as Martin Luther King was speaking, everybody was crying. The tears were just coming down. It was the most moving moment I think I have ever been in. It was really terrific. So, and we got out of the crowd and we went home and we told everyone that we knew what we had experienced. That was it. It gave me a positive hope for the world that my children, because I did have other children, I knew I would have other children, that they would be in a world where their opportunities would be greater. My husband was working for the New York Times, so it wasn't as though we were, not allowed to use whatever skills we had in terms of economic development for ourselves. But as I said, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and as a very small child, I was born in North Carolina, and as a very small child, I, remember scenes from North Carolina. And I remember very clearly walking down the street one day, and there was a white person, I don't know whether it was man or woman now, but I had to step off the sidewalk so that he'd have the full breadth of the sidewalk and not have to brush arms with a black kid, because I was just a kid. What was I going to do? So I was fully aware of all of the people that had been killed. Medgar Evers had been killed, all of that kind of a thing. And here was the promise of being a full citizen, being able to participate like anyone else in this country, to achieve like anyone else in this country. And it gave us all a great deal of hope. It was a great feeling. It was a feeling as at last this country belonged to me too.